The William Randolph Hearst CSU Trustees Award for Outstanding Achievement embodies the California State University's mission to provide the opportunity for a college degree for all Californians. In 1999, the William Randolph Hearst Foundation partnered with the California State University Board of Trustees to create the William Randolph Hearst CSU Trustees Award for Outstanding Achievement. The recipients of this special award represent model California State University students. They are bright, motivated scholars who have overcome great odds, including physical, emotional, and social hardships. What makes these students different, however, is that they have transformed their lives and changed their futures through the California State University.
When I was about 9 or 10 years old, my mother was diagnosed with narcolepsy, and I used to travel with her to UCLA once a month in order for her to see specialists. When we would walk across the UCLA campus, I was fascinated by the college atmosphere. I remember telling my mother once how much I wanted to be a college student someday. She sort of laughed and said, "College isn't for people like us, Gina. It's for kids whose parents have money. You'd be smart to learn to type." My mother's remarks weren't intended to be cruel. People in our family didn't go to college. They didn't get good jobs. Instead, they learned how to struggle. I enrolled in a community college at the age of 31. I never really intended to be successful, but I was. I transferred to UCLA and was very successful there as well. But despite all of my success, something didn't quite feel right. Like perhaps my mother was right and college really wasn't for me. It wasn't until I enrolled at Cal State San Bernardino that I realized why I never fit in. I had been in schools with people who were nothing like me. But CSUSB was different. Here I saw students just like me. I met faculty just like me. The students here understood what it was like to work twice as hard for something they wanted twice as much.
I feel lucky because my education provided me with the chance to escape the chaos that destroyed many others. I focused all my energy, all of my anger and my frustration into my schoolwork. Every school I have ever attended has been low performing and overpopulated, with a high rate of immigrant students and among the lowest test scores in the nation. But it didn't matter because I learned English as a second language and I excelled in many of my schools. I'm the only person in my entire extended family here and in Mexico to ever graduate high school. College was never in the agenda. The only people talking to me about college were my teachers. I feel blessed to have inspiring teachers that truly believed in me. They told me I could achieve anything and I believed them. And it made all the difference in the world because their prophecy came true. I'm currently triple majoring in psychology, philosophy, and political science to prepare for law school.
The Hearst CSU Trustee Award recipient who receives the highest score by the selection committee is designated the Trustee Ali C. Razi Scholar. The student who demonstrates exemplary service to his or her university or local community is designated the Trustee Murray L. Gallinson Scholar. Scholarships are given to one student at each of the California State University's 23 campuses. Former CSU trustee Ali Razi has been a great champion and supporter of the scholarship program because he believes that education is key to a better life and a productive community.
The Hearst CSU Trustees Award recognizes student accomplishment at the highest level. Recipients are individuals who have overcome great obstacles in their lives to take advantage of the remarkable opportunities afforded by California State University education. There are no better examples of the transformative power of CSU education than the students who are honored as recipients of this award. The competition for Hearst CSU Trustees Award grows each year. Friends of the university helps us to expand the number of awards that are available to support these highly accomplished students. The CSU Foundation invites you to join us in providing the support needed to help these talented students follow their dreams.
The greatest gift we can give you is a good education. That was the message my parents conveyed to all their children. In Mexico, where my siblings and I were raised, it is still common practice for children to help their parents by dropping out of school early to work. My parents, however, never let any of their children leave school. To say that an education changed my life would be an understatement. The simple act of transferring to CSU Chico helped change not only my life, but the lives of my entire family. I became the first person in my family to attend a university, and I was also the first to graduate with a bachelor's degree. Through these accomplishments, I have paved the way for future generations to follow in my footsteps.
I opened up and everyone in the class read my story, and they accepted me for who I am and as a human being. And so Channel Islands is like a second home to me because everyone here is so friendly. The professors are they're more than educators, they're mentors, and they become friends throughout the whole process.
Honestly, I can say that this has been one of the best years of my life, thanks to the decision to go back to school. I am deeply and sincerely thankful to be granted the opportunity to receive a higher education. I am also honored to have been selected for this award. No matter what the outcome or how far I might advance, I would like to express my gratitude and appreciation for giving the chance to participate. Opportunities such as this scholarship help turn dreams into reality. In June, I will start filming a thesis for my master's degree titled The American Dream. My education has played a huge role in achieving my dream.
The personal stories of these students are motivating and encouraging. Yet while their commitment, drive, and perseverance are extraordinary, these students are not unlike the many thousands of students who look to the CSU each year for high-quality, affordable educational opportunities. The California State University educates more than 400,000 students who come from a variety of backgrounds, cultures, and places. Without the California State University and scholarship programs such as the William Randolph Hearst CSU Trustees Award for Outstanding Achievement, many of these students would never have had the chance to attend college and become exemplary citizens. In fact, it's difficult to think about where they might have ended up. More of these success stories are possible if you support the William Randolph Hearst CSU Trustees Award for Outstanding Achievement or other CSU scholarship programs.